Alright, so we're here in Rage Forest 4. We've got Team DauT up against Team Valas in the quarterfinal. We're here on none other than Boring Forest, Black Forest. And we've got Teutonic tanks here on the Spanish, not the Teutons, so... why'd you pick that name? You got Argaden, Japanese, Blue Trunks. Pretty much put his team on his back and carried them last game. He did a wonderful job. DauT already sending his scout up and some villagers. So we got this left edge here, already a bit of action going on. Got Zastosi here on the Sicilians. Did a wonderful job at cutting through the middle of the map last game to let his teammates march units straight on top of the enemy market line, which is something you really want to do in team games. Valas over here on the right flank, on the Malians in the silver. While for Team DauT, we've got Uzi here, playing flank once again on the Incas, the red trunks. Miguel in the yellow on Teutons, and once again he's playing pocket. This villager melee is looking very interesting here. Valas is actually trailing everyone on workers at the moment. I don't know exactly why that is. Maybe he's lost one already, and I've just missed it in my clumsiness. Oh yeah, he must have been trying to wall off down here. Or try and lane the ball. Or something. And last but not least, we've got... Oh no, sorry, I haven't introduced Clement. So Clement's here on the Persians in the purple trunks. It's funny how the civ's purple, but then the health bars are pink. How does that fucking happen? And last but not least, we've got DauT, the Portuguese, in the orange trunks. Trying to delay this wall off here by Argaden. There's a pair of ponds here in the center of Team DauT at the moment. Well, sort of slightly off center, but not exactly tucked up against someone's base like this one here for Argaden. It's really quite easy for him to get on top of, while Zastosi has got two lakes, and there's one in between him and Teutonic tanks here, so there's also one over here that's shared between the two teams with Valas and Uzi over here. So I wonder if we're ever going to see any transport drop-offs to try and really pressure the enemy behind their walls. Because, at least for Valas, all he's got to do is put a gate there and you can deny that, but Uzi's actually got all this open segment here he's going to have to try and wall off if he wants to really prevent any transport ship unit dropping. Uzi's villagers are now behind enemy lines, but it looks as though he's got enough here that he should be able to take some nice positive fights here off Valas. Get him to commit some more villagers to this, delay some more gathering. Valas is still struggling for worker count. Argaden also having lost a couple of workers against DauT here. So Miguel, Clement, Teutonic tanks and Zastosi able to start really pulling ahead in their worker count, especially because they've got access to water here. I wonder if Clement's leaving this for DauT or Miguel to get on top of. So there's also some water here in the center to go for. It's actually, by Black Forest standards, this is a reasonably open seed of the map. Because you've got sort of this one choke here that fans out into several. So particularly once our players get on top of their siege Onager production, they'll really be able to pressure each other around the map here. It looks like that boar's been lamed by... Who's that there? Uzi's managed to lame the boar. So Valas not going to be able to gather from that one. Well, Uzi, just lazy man distance gathering here. Must have been under a bit of pressure to try and get that all done. I suppose while you're trying to commit to the palisades early on, and you're pulling villagers over here, that cuts into your ability to gather wood to be able to go for this mill before you even start gathering from your boar. And, you know, so you can get on top of these deer, which you probably should be doing, considering he's willing to distance gather to the town centre there. Why doesn't he just have the 2 villagers kill each deer here? In fact, he's actually scattering his deer by trying to gather from the berries, which is your slowest form of food gathering in the game. DauT making this a really tough time for Argiden to actually wall in here. I should be going around and introducing everyone's civs, but I'm a little bit lazy. But well, fuck it, we'll do it. Just to keep you guys happy. We got Clement's Persia, so a nice cav civ, extra starting resources as well, so aging up, getting that initial ball rolling with the eco a little bit easier. They've got a tanky town centre as well, with a slightly faster work rate than everyone else, so the tankiness probably not going to come into play in this game. I highly doubt he's going to do the delete town centre and park it on top of your opponent's base strategy, but the extra train speed should be really nice for getting out more eco. I was going to say we got DauT here, yeah, over here, sorry. So he's got that reduced gold cost, taking a little bit of pressure off his ability to make his tankier, more endgame sort of units. Miguel's here on Teutons, so nice infantry civ, and they've got a really cost-effective farm economy as well, because the wood cost of those is reduced by 40%, so that's pretty big. Top of that, the whole team benefits from conversion resistance. It's got access to those nice Teutonic knights. A lot of eco here for Argiden and DauT, really being interrupted here, because they're too busy trying to take the fight against one another. Uzi as well, committing a lot of villagers to this, while by now Valas is just content to just have 1 or 2 villagers, gather from the boar, and just keep everything else gathering back at home. Valas actually picking off one of Uzi's villagers there. So to try and repair that palisade as well to keep this wall off going, so this is starting to really cost Uzi, because he's starting to trail everyone in terms of score here, and that really forward-built house is almost a sitting duck here for DauT, who's getting this nice wall off done. Teutonic is actually walling off this segment here to prevent DauT from trying to split push into the base of anyone else on Team Valas. So Stosi having covered all the rest of this side. And in fact, this puts him in striking range of Uzi now, because Uzi, well, neither Miguel or Clement has actually covered this far over with a wall off. So this is great for Zastosi. Who was up to with the civ? Zastosi, Sicilians, so nice infantry and cav civ, extra starting stone. Units ultimately don't get as hard counted as they do on other civs. Farm upgrades make farms more potent across the board. Access to the donjons instead of the watchtowers, and I believe you can actually use them as a barracks, as well as reap the benefit of them having extra health over a regular watchtower. This tower from Uzi's going to deny Valas's dock eco over here. At the same time, Knights are about to start streaming in from Zestosi. Uzi on the Incas. Cheaper food cost for all of his military. Villagers also benefit from his blacksmith upgrades, and his buildings cost less stone, so a nice sieve for pumping shit out once you've got your economy up and running. But so far he hasn't really got his economy up and running. He's down at 27 eco pop at the moment, which is not great considering everyone else by now is starting to really leave him in the dust in that regard. And now he's also having to put up with Knight Scout Cav harass behind enemy lines already. Valas is going to be able to take out this tower potentially, but there is a mangonel there to try and deny the villagers. But it is going to get picked off, because there has been a quick wall off there, and some knights able to snipe that. Valas only just getting feudal now, and he's on Marlians, and Zestosi in the meanwhile is already Castle Age. Teutonic is also Castle Age as well at the moment. He's able to make use of those conquistadors, try and drive back Clement's knights, because bearing in mind, as much as Team Valas seems to be well ahead over here on this right edge, on the left edge it's a different story. As DauT's managed to deny a complete wall off here from Argeddon, so the support from Teutonic tanks has been quite nice. Give his ally the space to actually get out here and start getting on these resources again. So Spanish is Teutonic's pick. So access to those Castle Age gunpowder units. Cheap blacksmith upgrades because they don't have a gold cost, and buildings build quicker in general, 30% quicker. So that's also going to be a nice economic gain. This is really rough for Uzi because he's still bleeding villagers down to 21 now. Everyone else is pretty much a double that or more. Even Argeddon, who probably had he and Valas would have had the roughest times, other than Uzi so far. So Clement backing off just to defend this choke, make sure nothing can make its way into DauT's base, but Conquistadors are able to just come in, snipe units and back off. So this is looking really rough for Team DauT already. Argeddon on Japanese, so that fishing ship work rate's going to be very useful because he's going to have access to that fishing eco on this map. Uzi's actually gone for proxy docks in the meanwhile. I completely missed this happening, but unfortunately for Uzi, he's been denied on both lakes here at the moment. Maybe a bit of an overcommitment trying to take both. And right now he's about to lose his starting town center. We're only about 8 minutes into the game, so this is really rough for him. In fact, he's just about done for the moment. He's going to have to come back and put a town center back here. Just try and work his way back into the game, but this puts a lot of pressure on Miguel to go from being a flank player to being, to go from being a pocket player to being the flank. And now there's an awful lot more space for Team Valas because they'll no doubt look at parking military production and castles around here. And even DauT is struggling a little bit to repel Teutonic tanks with these conquistadors. A lot of villagers having to come back and garrison, so it's extra villager idle time. And he's even dropped a couple of villagers there. DauT now in Castle Age. Valas and Uzi the only players still left in feudal, but I wager that Valas is in a lot better spot to get to castle from here. In fact, DauT tapping out there, all of Team DauT are calling it there, and GG, Team Valas takes the game and take the series 3-0.